everyone, it is the start of a new week, so we have a lovely new planner page to have a go at. This is from the Johanna Basford 2021 weekly planner. And this picture is from Johanna's Christmas. Now, having looked through just actually yesterday, you may have seen a flip through of both the versions of Johanna's Christmas I've done, and I've messed this page up every time because not knowing what to do with this background bit, and it's always looked really naff because this is a sort of ribbon design which goes across the page. You never know where to take the background and when to stop, and it just looked wrong. So I have been having a little think about what to do on this page with the background. I'm just looking for a piece of paper to pop behind the page, because although we don't need to worry too much about the transfer going through because it's just a date page, it might help us. Hang on, I've got something here I can use. I'll just keep a piece of cardboard. We might be able to see better. I thought I might get rid of that word, but it doesn't make any difference. I'm just going to forget that idea. Okay, so my plan is that we don't do a background, but we colour in the moon and stars to make them stand out from the page, and we'll do some of the other elements as well, because it's a lovely page and it's great fun colouring in Christmas pictures. So let's zoom in and think about this moon and stars. So as I say, I'm not going to do a background, so I want some bright colours. Could get out your metallics, your glitter pens, glittery silver moon, glittery gold stars. That's an idea. Not what I'm going to do, but it's an idea. I'm using my Arteza Premium Pencils. Should have showed you it before I zoomed in. They are the triangular ones that come in a tube. This is the lemon yellow. Now the colours don't always tie up. I don't know what I'm saying. There are two versions of the tube as far as I can tell, and one of them is the same as mine and one of them has different colours in it, so you may not have exactly the same colours as me, but it doesn't really matter. This is just a very bright yellow. This is the sort of brightest, deepest yellow that there is in the tin. So it's really simple there. I have just filled in the colour. But what I want is a slightly orangey colour. I'm going to go for the Turmeric Yellow to go around the edge of each star, just to darken them slightly. I'm hoping it will sit on top of the yellow. I've never tried this before with these. It seems to have got a little bit down there. So just sort of pop it into those points really. But as I said before, you could just use a gold pen or something, because we've got these ones here that are just drawn. We can't really colour them in very well, but I shall have a go. I shall show you like that. I think with these three, which I'm always struggle to know what to do with, I'm going to go over the top with the yellow, and I think it will just show up a little bit there and make it look a little bit more shiny. You could go over it with the white first and sort of disappear the black lines. Obviously that's a verb, but you know, I think that's okay as is. Now the moon, I think I would like to do a very pale blue. I don't have one in this set that I want a really cold blue. I'm feeling cold just talking about it. What I'm going to do, I think I'm going to have to mix two colours because I don't have a cold blue. So I'm going to use this grey first. This is the cold grey. It's called charcoal grey. It's the coldest grey, and I want a really, really light layer. So to do a light layer, as I've explained before, hold the pencil quite far down and use it on its side, and it will just put down a light layer. Take it slowly, or else you might push down too hard. It looks quite dark. I'm hoping once you put a blue on top, if you're using something like polychromos, just use the sky blue. It's perfect. But now I'm going to go over the top of that with the Peacock Blue, using exactly the same technique. So holding it low down the pencil, holding it flat so that I'm colouring it almost on the side. Try and stay in the lines. I can erase that afterwards. hoping this gives a sort of cold moon look. If you're not keen on the look, as I say, just do what you want. And obviously the moon isn't blue, but it's just, it helps it stand out from the white background, of course. I mean, you could always, if you don't want the whole thing silver, you could go silver around the edge with either a metallic pen or a glitter pen. I'm happy with that. But I am going to blend it slightly. It's a little bit messy. I'm going to use my, this is a Caran blending stick. Well, it's half a one. That's what I'm going to use. See if it works. Yeah, on some pencils it isn't so effective. It isn't as good as it is on the what did I use the other day with the Arteza? It's been the Arteza Experts. It was really good. So it just depends what you're using. It's leaving us with a little bit of a texture, but actually I want a little bit. I think it looks a bit more realistic. The moon isn't flat. So that's our moon and stars. So that's how I'm going to leave it, because, and that I did have the idea of doing a pastel blue background and then putting them in white pen after. And you could do that with a very light colour, but I wasn't sure how well it would match with the rest of the design here. What should we do? I've done a tutorial showing how to do beads. I've done one for holly. Should we do some of these? These are a little bit different, so they're quite fun. So these are the hanging decorations, obviously. I think we'll start with this one. Now you can choose, obviously you could do it, ooh, it's a delivery van. You could do it all the same colour, or you could do it in different colours. And I'm wondering what colour theme should we have going on this page. We've got poinsettias, we've got holly berries, we're going to have reds, we've got green leaves, we've got blue moon. I think it'll be a mix. So I decide on your colour. I think I might just go for blue, just because we've just done a blue. I know it will match in. I'm going to use the indigo blue. It's a sort of mid blue. It isn't as dark as I would normally say an indigo blue is. Just sharpen it and show you what I'm going to do. So what we want to do with this is think about where the light's going to be catching it so we can make it look shiny. I think it's going to be quite dark up here, on all sides, like this. Now this side is facing us, and these two are curved, and they're around the side. This one will be curved too, but like that one is. But because this line is straight, trying to make it look curved, because it should perhaps be like that one is going to be difficult. So I'm actually going to do this face quite lightly, because as I say, it'll be catching the light. So you know, Christmas tree ornaments are normally glass, or they used to be, so they would reflect the light. So we've got a light colouring. What we're going to do is then take it a little bit dark on the edge, on each edge, like that, and just bring in slightly. I think it would get lighter towards the middle. This one and this one we want to be a little bit darker. You can just start by putting a layer down. I just find it helps me just to see where I am. Sometimes I need that bit of guidance. I'm thinking it's going to be dark up here. And here, where it's near this edge, might get lighter towards the middle. Let's make it darker on the edge here. A little bit darker on the bottom. So basically we're going to make the shine in the middle like that, and we'll do the same on this side. We'll make it exactly the same because it is symmetrical. Excuse me, I don't know where my voice is going. I'm actually running out of Johanna Basford Christmas designs to do tutorials from, so we may have some days where there isn't a Johanna Basford. There will be videos, but they might just be from other authors. Now, I don't know whether that's going to sort of upset people, because I know I'm normally always do Johanna every day. I'm just going to really darken that line to make it look, stand out. I don't know. Oh, it would be useful in the comments if you let me know if it's Johanna that you really want to see, that you're here for, or whether you don't mind either way. I'm just going to colour the whole of this in lightly to start with, just so that I know, because I could do some Johanna pictures that aren't Christmassy, in a Christmas style or a winter style, or I could see if she's got any downloads I could colour, that sort of thing. So there are options for me, but actually by the time this video goes out I may have made all my Christmas videos, but anyway, we'll see. If you let me know anyway, it'll just be useful for me to know. So now I did the same there than I did here, but I want to make it a little bit darker under here because there'll be some shadow from that top part, and this one again a little bit darker on the edges and towards the middle. There we go. So I think that looks like it's sort of shiny, so I hope that's okay. And then we'll do just checking what else we've got going on here. Okay, excuse me, we will do this one. Now I'm trying to think what colour. I don't know where my voice is. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I'm just going to do a big mix of colours. Lots of different ones. I think it will give you lots of different ideas as well, so you can decide what colours you like and dislike with regards to the decorations. Now with this one it's rounded, so I wanted to look lighter in the middle and darker on the outsides, as if it's catching the light here, and it will make it look more spherical and more shiny. But because we've got different sections that will be different colours, we have to be a little bit careful, but we can do this. So for this centre section I'm going to use this pencil. I haven't shown you. It's the are you going to be able to see it? Amethyst Purple. So I'm going to do a darker layer here by pressing a little harder, doing more layers of colour, and then go lighter as we go towards the middle, and then again harder here and lighter as we go towards the middle, and then we can see a bit of shine in the centre, hopefully. Now realistically I think this outside bit might be overlapping this bit, so we might want to put some shadow in, but I think we've got such a small space, I'm just going to leave it. Now I'm going to do a pink for the top. I know it's a bit brash, but I think why not? Now when you're choosing colours for something that's going to be shiny, you want a really intense colour. So I'm choosing this Plum Purple, which is quite sort of intense and dark. I wouldn't want to use something like this, which is the Peony Purple. For me it's a bit too pastel-y. It's not going to help with the illusion of shine so nicely. Now we've got to think about here, our shine darker around here. What I'm going to do is just do a light layer all over. Gosh, I am so cold today. We had quite a frost last night. We were forecast snow overnight, but it didn't. I think we had some. So when I got up this morning, on top of the frost on the car, there were a few flakes, but it didn't, you know, there was nothing on the path, which was lucky because I had to go out for an eye test. I was wondering whether I needed stronger glasses, because on some pictures the small detail I struggle with, but actually he said my sight's been fairly stable, so it must just be the size of the picture. So I'm starting to make the edges a bit darker just by layering up the pencil a little bit. It's good to do this slowly, just gently add layers, step back, have a look at the picture from a distance, see how it's looking, and then add a little bit more. Don't rush it, or else you might end up without the result you're looking for. You can keep adding more layers as you feel it's necessary, but it's good to build them up slowly, particularly if you haven't done this sort of effect before. The idea is to get quite a big contrast between the dark outside and the light centre, and then it gives more of a glowy impression. Oh, going out of the line isn't compulsory if you don't want to do that. Don't do it. Sorry, I'm in a silly mood. I think I'm going to have to make this my last video that I'm recording today though, because my voice has decided to. I've got a bit of a sore throat actually. I'll go and have a cup of tea. I'm sure that'll sort it out. I hope you can see that I'm happy with that bit. Looks a little bit glowy, and I hope it gives it a more spherical look. If you compare it to this one, it looks a bit more spherical. That's good. Now we've got this one. I think we'll go for oranges for this one. I'm just going through the rainbow really. Why not? So maybe yellow, maybe orange and yellow, because we've got a few sections. I'm going to actually use the Vermillion. I don't know if you can see. It's quite a dark, intense orange. As I said before, we want quite intense colours to work. And I'm going to do this section, this section, this section, and this section all in the Vermillion. I'm just going to erase that bit of blue that I drew in the middle of there. This doesn't want to come off. That's a little bit better. So do a little bit here, quite hard, and we're going to, and at the top, and then fade it down towards the middle, like that, and the same over here. There we go. Now this bit is quite near the middle, so it needs to be really light. I'm just going to do the very lightest layer to start with. I'm gently just kissing the page with the pencil, just getting a small amount of colour out, and then I'll think about it to be a little bit darker on the edges. Excuse me. Got a little bit of dry toast stuck in the back of my throat now. That's not nice, is it? Okay, and then we'll do this main part. Oh, it's a bit scratchy, this pencil. Not sure why. So I'm trying to make it darker on the edge. I think I compressed quite hard because I did here. You could just do a light layer all over like we did on the others, but for this one I can easily see where I'm going with the lighter colour, where I've got to fade it, yeah? You can see where the centre is. So that's why I'm doing it a bit more confidently, like that. I'm going to just go back and just keep adding until I'm happy with the amount of colour, like that. And want a yellow. I'm going to use the yellow we use for the star, so the lemon yellow. And what you want here is darker on the edge and at the top. It's quite difficult to see the yellow, so need to apply a fair bit just so it can be seen. There we go. I'm thinking, yeah, I think I'll do that. And then we'll do this one. Thinking what colour for that one. What have we got that we haven't used? I haven't used any greens. My greens are tucked away actually at the top here. What colour's that? That's an emerald green. Yeah, let's try the emerald. We've got two sections on this, so we're going to try and do them in two colours. It's going to be a little bit tricky because if you want and you're finding it tricky, just do the whole thing. Do it dark and get lighter as you come to the middle. But I'm going to do it in two colours. So sorry, this is the emerald green. That's some light glare, isn't it? So I'm going to make it darker here, just under there. And then start to fade as I go towards the centre. So that bit's really light. I just want to make sure that you sort of graduate that colour in like that. I think that will be okay, but we can always grab it back and do a little bit more in a bit. And then we're going to do the bottom part in the forest green, I think. I think it'll work. just going to have to. So we're doing quite a dark layer there. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Hang on, I'm just going to pause. Oh, that's better. So now we're going to, yeah, just make the colour lighter as we go up. Just doing it slowly. We're going to go all the way up the curve there with a lighter colour, and then I just have to start thinking about where is that lighter bit. This bit is going to be a little bit darker, as is up this side. You can see how it is a little bit tricky to get it looking exactly right. There we go. I'm going to leave it there. But what I am going to do now is these hanging chains and whatever you might call them. Let's pop it into the middle a little bit. Now you could do them in gold or silver. You could use your glitter pens again, like we were sort of suggesting before. But I think I'm going to do them in a grey to sort of indicate a silver, if that makes any sense. So I picked up my charcoal grey again that we used a little earlier on. Now for these loops, this is like the circular loop. Now what I do for these is I just put a little bit of colour on one side and start to fade it, and then the same on that side and fade it, so we leave some white paper and it sort of looks a bit shiny. And then for this one I just do a bit around the edge and leave a white gap in the middle. And then for the tiny circle, it's a little small. I'm going to try and do a little around the edge of each circle and leave a gap in the middle. It's a little bit difficult. I've done my best. Now we have a really long one here. Excuse me. For this one here, I'm going to put some darker colour here and fade it towards the middle, and then leave a whole open section in the centre of white to shine. For the loop, like with a bit different to the other, actually, we're just going to put dark each side and leave the top empty. And for these I'm going to treat them as if they're beads. So we go around the edge and then leave the centre. It could be that it's a chain, so there would be nothing, but I think if we colour them as if they're beads, it gives us something to colour. And then just bring that in slightly, leaving a little white centre if you can. Gets a little bit tricky. Those circular ones are quite small, but do our best and hopefully it will all come together. Okay, for this one, we've got the sort of, I think we'll colour each bit separately. So we'll colour this, leave a space in the middle, and the same with that one, yeah. And then this one, do a darker bit each end and at the top, and then fade it towards the centre, leaving a tiny white shine. This one will bring a bit in from each side, leaving the white down the middle. The circles in the same way as we have before. These lines, I just put a bit each side. You probably find they would end up joining and you won't get much white. Oh, we've got our last one. Like around the edge. Sorry, I've stopped talking. It's not much use, but it's all pretty much the same. So there they are. I can zoom out so you can see all of the bit that we've done today. I think I will come back and at least do the stockings because there's so much fun to do. In fact, we might do other bits and pieces from the page because it's a rather nice one, and I think it will be fun. So I'm going to leave that there for today though, because my voice is completely gone, and I shall come back and have a go when I've got a bit more voice. So thank you so much for watching, and happy colouring.